Welcome to Godly Dragon Reviews and Apologetics, and this is my first book review. You know, I am a sucker when it comes to fantasy, and I love stories with dragons. I mean, dragons are so cool. They can fly, and they can breathe fire. They look so majestic. They look like a wonderful creation from God himself. However, there was a lot of controversy over fantasy stories with dragons. Fantasies are known for containing witchcraft and wizardry, most notably the Harry Potter series. I plan to go over Harry Potter some other time. Dragons are also controversial in the body of Christ. Some Christians are not fond of dragons since the dragon was used as a symbol for Satan in the book of Revelation. Does that mean dragons are evil? Does that mean we can't enjoy dragons? Does that mean all fantasies with dragons are bad? Not necessarily. In my opinion, although the dragon was used as a symbol for Satan and used to symbolize negative things, the dragon is still God's creation and everything that God created was good. That is, assuming that dragons did exist. Other animals were used to symbolize negative things as well, like the goat and the serpent, which are God's creations as well. There is some good Christian fantasy out there. C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia series is a notable example. The story of the Dawn Treader has a dragon in its story. But what I want to talk about is the Christian fantasy written by Brian Davis, which is a fantasy that revolves around dragons while also having biblical elements. The book I am talking about is called Raising Dragons. Raising Dragons is the first book in the Dragons in Our Midst series. This story revolves around two kids named Billy and Bonnie. Billy is no ordinary boy. Billy has blazing hot fire breath. He discovers that he is a half-breed dragon and that his father Jared Bannister was once a dragon before taking human form. Jared Bannister's true form is a dragon named Clefsphere. All of the dragons went into hiding by taking human form in order to hide from men who believed the dragons to be evil creatures and want them all destroyed. Clefsphere took human form and kept his past a secret in hopes that Devon the Dragon Slayer would never find him. One day, a new girl arrives at school, known as Bonnie, who is also a half-dragon and has the trait of dragon wings, and they have to defeat Devon the Dragon Slayer once and for all, in order to save the dragon heritage. Now I'm going to talk about the biblical elements of this novel. The story is also based on the legends and stories of King Arthur. Merlin appears in the series and is portrayed as a Christian prophet who helps to transform the good dragons into humans so that they can hide from the evil dragon slayers. But in order to be transformed, the dragons must have faith in the Maker alone. The legendary sword Excalibur also makes an appearance. Only those who have strong faith in God can wield this mighty sword. This is a fantasy that relies on godly miracles, not on magic and witchcraft. Throughout the story, the main character comes to see that sacrifice and faith are what is necessary for salvation. The characters have to rely on their strength and their faith in God in order to overcome obstacles. This book teaches young people that they can gain victory over evil through faith in God, despite their handicaps and weaknesses, and how spiritual, God-inspired truth is there to guide them. Kids are really fascinated with dragons, and kids are fascinated with fantasy. But most fantasy isn't very godly, as most fantasy involves the characters using magical powers without a higher deity to answer to. Dragons in Our Midst is the opposite. This is a fantasy that relies on biblical truth and teaches very valuable lessons. It is a breath of fresh air compared to all the other fantasy that you see in the mainstream. It is a very good story that I think adults can enjoy too, and a very good Christian alternative to secular mainstream fantasy. I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars, and I say it is family-friendly and faith-friendly. This is a book recommendation from Godly Dragon Reviews. I hope that this review is helpful to you, and God bless you all.